So you've found an information source and you want to quote or use ideas from that source in your paper or project. How do you use that information ethically? Let's start by defining information source in the context of an academic paper or project. Information sources aren't limited to books and articles. They might also include a painting or a photograph, a social media post like a TikTok video, notes that you took on a lecture in class, or even an interview that you conducted over email. Any information that doesn't fall under the umbrella of general knowledge needs to be cited. And what is or isn't general knowledge can be contextual. For example, a published scientific study might describe a planarian without citing a source, because the author shares general knowledge of what planaria are with their audience of other scientists. On the other hand, an undergraduate student writing a paper for their education class might need to provide and cite a definition of planaria. If you've included information in your paper or project and you're not sure if it's general knowledge or not, it's okay to ask your professor or a librarian for clarification. When in doubt, err on the side of citing the information. So you've determined that you need to cite your source, but what does that look like? In most academic settings, it means you'll be using a specific citation style. These styles were developed to meet the needs of different writers and researchers. For example, APA style was developed by the American Psychological Association in the 1920s. This style is associated with psychology and other sciences. This is the style you'll use most often at Lynn. Chicago style was developed by the University of Chicago Press in the 1890s. It's associated with history and the fine arts, so conservatory students and a few classes at Lynn use this style. Finally, MLA style was developed by the Modern Language Association of America in the early 1900s. It's associated with the humanities. A few classes at Lynn use this style. To find our information hub for these three citation styles, click the Library Guides launch point on our homepage. There's a smaller menu of guides on the upper right side of the screen. Click Introduction to the Library. On this page, click the tab APA, Chicago, and MLA to see links to all of our style guides and some other reliable resources. Because APA style is the most frequently used citation and formatting style at Lynn, our APA Help Guide is one of the 4 launch points on the homepage. This guide is divided into 2 sections: information about formatting your work and information about how to cite sources. Formatting describes the visual organization of your paper or project. You can use our checklist and the APA's official website to apply these rules yourself, or you can just download our templates. These templates are already formatted as a Word document with placeholder text that you can replace with your own information. We also have an academic poster page that provides some examples of how to format an academic poster. These example posters are just helpful suggestions. APA only provides specific guidelines for formatting papers, including annotated bibliographies. When it comes to outlines, PowerPoints, or other presentations, you should ask your instructor for guidance. The biggest section of this guide is focused on citing your sources. When using APA style, you'll create a reference citation that will be listed at the end of your paper. These will always include information about the author who created your source, the date it was created or last updated, the title or a description of the source, the publisher or group who made your source available to the public, and usually a link to the online location of your source. The in-text citation points the reader to your reference. It's like a marker that tells the reader, right here, I'm using someone else's words or ideas. The in-text citation can be part of your sentence, or it can appear at the end of a sentence in parentheses, as long as it contains the author and year of the source you used, and that author and year match your reference citation. This page of the guide also tells you what to do when your source has no date, no named author, more than 3 authors, and other frequently asked questions. In the introduction to the library video, I shared why pasting a URL into a citation generator will usually fail to create an accurate citation. So what should you do instead? Once you have a source to cite, ask yourself, what kind of source is this? Then click the indented tab on the left side of the guide that best matches your source. It's very important that you, the researcher, are able to identify the type of information you're using. Understanding what type of source you have is part of evaluating how well the source supports your research. One way to learn how to identify sources is by using the examples in our guide. All of our example references are taken from real sources, so you can click the link to see for yourself what that kind of source actually looks like. If you can't find an example in our guide that answers your question, that's the perfect time to start a chat with a librarian. You can email or visit our office in person too. We won't edit your paper for you, but we can help you identify and fix any errors that you've made. The most important part of citation isn't perfectly placing periods and commas. It's accurately and honestly showing the distinction between your words and ideas and someone else's words and ideas. We're excited about new tools and technologies that will make the nitpicky parts of citation easier, but they can't replace your knowledge of where your information came from and how and where you've used it in your research paper or project.